Hello, trading is closed on July 10th, 2018. My last call said that the pattern was basically positive, that even though there was a lower MEJT target, that if we gapped up over these highs, it often is put out of reach, and that's what happened. During the day, MEJT said this move was false and prices would retrace, which they did. Now we gapped up, hit some higher highs, and we couldn't close. This blue line's the close. Couldn't close over these highs. It's a negative pattern and should lead to lower prices unless we gap over these highs, or at least move over them quickly. Well, futures are down over 20 handles, so I don't think that's going to happen. It's hard to take credit for predicting lower prices tomorrow, but I will take credit for saying that this TDST line is resistance, that this small move over it doesn't count, and one bar over the line is often all one gets. What about tomorrow? Well, tomorrow's a day with an early low and a late high, has a strong tendency to rally into the close and be a positive day. If it isn't a positive day, it's because we drop early. Well, futures are indicating it is going to drop early. Now, I said yesterday, if the high happened yesterday or today, I could justify it after the fact, but I would like more evidence before being totally convinced that that was it. Now, MEJT will probably see this price print tomorrow, but it's been saying for over a week this whole move is going to retrace at some point. So how reasonable is the evidence that that's the end of the move with this island reversal we're going to probably get tomorrow? Well, it isn't carved in stone, but this is a Gann-Fan one-by-one line. You take it from today's high and you go back to this important high here, and that's close enough for me for the one-by-one line. And if you keep going back for years, it hits this point here in 2011 within 1%. That's a pretty important trend line, and when you rally up to the trend line, the Gann-Fan line, without going through it, either you gap over it, which isn't going to happen, or the trend line wins. Now this was the count. I actually had the count here, and we've gone over this high. Kind of a disappointment. As I've said, you could count these waves any way you want to. There's a count that now looks more plausible to me without changing the basic idea. Let's say that's A and that's B, and you can have an ending diagonal triangle in a C wave, and if that's it, and that's A, and here's your A, here's your B, that would be an expanded flat, would certainly make plausible wave purple C going down. So I don't know if we're going to get that big drop, if this is the end or not, but this is a Gann-Fan point, and if this, because of the Fibonacci relationships, is a more plausible end for this wave than this one to me. If this is what's going on, it would justify a big move down, hitting the MEJT targets. Well, I take things one day at a time. Tomorrow's call is a pattern with an early low, a late high. Futures are indicating we're going to see this. Gapping under this low means this rally didn't count. It's even possible we gap under this low as I'm recording this, which would mean this whole thing was a false move. And if we do start down in spades, these are the next targets on the downside. and there's at least a plausible wave count to go along with it. So that's where we stand. Lower prices tomorrow, and it just depends if we get follow through on the drop or not. I should say it's not carved in stone, because the break over this blue trend line did not meet the mark sustainability criteria, which means we have to return to this line. But usually when you break over the line with an unsustainable move, it becomes sustainable later on. So even if we drop, we might get another move back over that trend line. But tomorrow looks like it's down, just a question of how much and whether it has legs, and we'll get followed through the following days. And that's today's call.